was elected vice president, before I was elected United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General of the state of California, and I was a courtroom prosecutor before then. And in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Vice President Kamala Harris came out all guns blazing against Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. Days after President Joe Biden gave in to pressure, dropped out of the race and endorsed his number 2, Harris secured the support of a majority of Democratic delegates. This has paved the way for her to become the party's nominee for the November election. In her first election rally after the big shake-up in the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris said the November 5 election was a choice between a former prosecutor and a convicted felon.
Do we want to live in a country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law, or a country of chaos, fear, and hate? And here's the beauty of this moment. We each have the power to answer that question. The power is with the people. We each have the power to answer that question. And in the next 105 days, then we have work to do. We have doors to knock on. We have phone calls to make. We have voters to register. And we have an election to win.
The presidential elections have been full of twists and turns ever since Joe Biden's disastrous debate against Donald Trump on the 28th of June, which opened a Pandora's box. Then came the shocker, Donald Trump narrowly surviving an assassination attempt at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here.
The shooting led to the director of the Secret Service stepping down following a heated hearing.
Okay, would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political, yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Well, that's bullshit.
Yet, despite everything, the momentum appears to be with Kamala Harris after Biden stepped aside. According to a Reuters Ipsos poll conducted 2 days after Biden's announcement, Harris holds a 2-point lead over Trump. Top Democrats have come out in Harris's support after Biden ditched his re-election bid. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi threw her enthusiastic support for Kamala Harris. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer hailed Harris for building support from the grassroots.
I have seen a surge of enthusiasm from every corner of our party, uniting behind Vice President Harris. An enthusiasm felt in every corner of the country, and it's contagious among Democrats. The volunteers, the small contributions, they're just pouring in ways even beyond our expectations. Now, we all know that Vice President Harris has a tremendous record to run on. And now begins the next chapter in our quest to make sure Donald Trump does not become president.
Celebrities also rushed to back Harris. Hollywood star and mega donor George Clooney said he's excited to do whatever he can to support Harris in her historic quest. A few weeks ago, Clooney had appealed to Biden to quit the race. Grammy Award-winning singer Beyoncé permitted Kamala Harris to use her hit song Freedom on her campaign trail. Along with support, donations have also been pouring in for Harris. The vice president's campaign raised $81 million in the first 24 hours of Biden stepping aside and endorsing her. With Biden dropping out, 78-year-old Donald Trump is now the oldest presidential candidate ever in the history of US elections. Till now, his campaign had focused on contrasting his vigor and mental acuity with Biden's. Now they have had to pivot to Harris. But the 59-year-old will be a more energetic campaigner and will be able to make a more coherent case for her party. Harris may be able to shore up support from black voters. If she can combine that with more backing from other minorities and younger voters, it could help her gain ground against Trump in the handful of swing states that will decide this year's election.